We spoke about this here on the line when it first came up. Two 7-Eleven stores in southeast Albuquerque were declared nuisance properties after many complaints and asked to clean up their act. Now an agreement has been reached between those stores and the city. The stores will stop selling mini and pint-sized bottles of alcohol. They will police their areas daily and will give additional training to employees so they can avoid selling alcohol to those already intoxicated. Let me introduce the Line Opinion Panel, all who have agreed to read up on the issues and come in prepared to tackle this story and some others. Former New Mexico House Minority Whip and Line regular Daniel Foley is here. Michael Barrio, Executive Director of Prosperity Works, joins us as well. Attorney and another Line regular, Sophie Martin, is here with her take on today's topics. Last but certainly not least, Merritt Allen is here. She's the owner of Vox Optima Vox Optima Public Relations. Sorry about that. Welcome to you all. Daniel, how do you see this? Victory for public safety, dangerous step into a slippery slope of public regulation, appropriate?
It makes no sense to me. I mean, first of all, I don't know who planned on letting the mayor stand at a podium and hold up two little minis and get that picture in the Albuquerque Journal.
I wondered that.
I mean, I was just like, this is crazy. I don't, at the time that this is going on, right, wrong, or indifferent, you have a record murder rate under his watch in the city. I'm not saying it's his fault. It just came out during his watch. And the answer to that is we're going to get two 7-Eleven stores to stop selling pints and minis. I mean, you would think if you were a Democrat and you wanted to address this, why aren't you reaching out to someone like the Attorney General? The Attorney General is in your party. The Attorney General has been going after pharmaceutical companies. The Attorney
General. Up there, we've got a city councilor in his district. He drove this, Pat Davis. We have a system in place in city council to deal with these things. I don't think he would have to take it necessarily to the AG, but
to do something.
Okay.
I bet the Attorney General has statistics. How about looking at? You're looking at a city council district that's doing this. Basically, what they're doing is they're moving the problem to the next city council district.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And so, and so I mean, why not talk to someone like the Attorney General who's looked at this as a statewide effort? I'm not, whether he's done a good job or not done a good job, open for conversation, I get it. But I mean, the answer to two, I mean, this is what people have to remember. We're talking about, we're impacting two 7-Eleven stores in the city of Albuquerque, and suddenly this is going to address the problem. We have a busing system that people can get up and down Central on. It just seems like at a time, that Rome is burning, Nero standing on the roof with his fire hose from his house saying, "I'm going to put the fire out." I think it's a huge issue. I also think it was a bad move for the mayor to have that photo op with those minis, and I think this was not handled correctly, in my opinion. The public relations, to have the mayor out saying, okay, we got the highest murder rate that we've ever had in Albuquerque. Here's two minis, and we're going to address it by going.
Sorry, my fault. Clear my throat there. Sophie, my understanding you live fairly close by one of them, and
are you part of the problem, Sophie?
It is that one of the 7-Elevens, the one on San Mateo, is the closest convenience store to my house, and so I am a member of that neighborhood.
Right.
That 7-Eleven has been a problem for many years.
Right.
The neighborhood members of the community have pushed for changes there for many years. For myself, I don't think this is enough. I went in the other night and I could see that they had removed the minis and pints, but you can buy quite a large bottle of alcohol in there for not very much money. So you can see that improvements are being made in terms of the changes that are agreed to.
Right.
But there's still an issue with panhandling outside of it. It still does not seem safe. It is quite well lit, thank goodness. And so this is sort of an incremental step that maybe doesn't get the neighborhood all the way to where it needs to go. Now, to Dan's point about the murder rate, there have been shootings in and around that 7-Eleven. And I say I'm not sure that it's actually true, but around the 7-Eleven and that property, it has been a magnet for problem behaviors for quite some time. And so, to the extent that the community is saying you have to do something, well, something was done. But it encourages me a little bit to hear the mayor's office saying, we recognize that there may need to be more that happens here.
Right.
This is a trial run, essentially.
I actually appreciated that the mayor, Michael, had mentioned that this is a bit of an experiment, a bit of a moving target. I appreciated that he actually said that out loud. But it's hard to deny 1,127 complaints to the city's 311 line from these two places alone. Kind of begs an answer here. Something had to happen. Status quo was not going to suffice here.
Right. I mean, I think something has to happen, and I think that he utilized or used the proper terminology. I think it is an experiment. And, the way that I see it is something does have to be done, but not selling pint-sized and mini bottles, I don't think that that's a solution.
Okay.
Because are we then saying that we know for a fact that alcohol is a direct correlation to all the many problems that are occurring in these areas? And I don't think that we could really make that case without looking at the data. And
Okay.
there are a lot of social determinants that determine whether or not a community is going to face these kinds of issues. So I don't know that saying we're not going to sell these size liquor bottles to these communities, I don't know that that's the answer, and it seems like it's infringement on.
But is that
business.
not just plain good governance to really hone in on a problem at a very micro level, very grassroots
If
and
that's the
below
problem.
to,
If that's the problem.
Let me work before you get a point in, Dan. Because honestly, the police responded 733 times. All right, that means they're not doing something else. To Dan's point about bigger issues.
Well, to me, this is a huge government overreach. And
Okay.
if it's an experiment, it's a dangerous one. Because if you can declare a licensed, properly zoned business a nuisance because you can't keep crime down around it, what else can you declare a nuisance property? Someone who's a political rival? I mean, and then we kind of get into eminent domain and all sorts of
Do
stuff.
bars fall under that criteria as well?
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. It could be. It could be any type of area where there's activity. It could be an adult club, that sort of thing.
Sure.
If they're zoned, if they have the license, they should be allowed to operate. And I'm so upset just at the precedent. Whether it does any good, I don't think it's going to do any good. But it shows me that this government, this administration, is willing to take extreme government intervention steps where they aren't warranted, and that should be alarming to all of us as citizens.
I want to take off on that point right there. The fix isn't equivalent to the problem. And Sophie, to you on this, I mean, Fire and Rescue has responded 189 times. So and mostly for folks who were, quote, down and out.
It's interesting because it's
Would they be down and out whether this 7-Eleven existed? Do you know what I mean? See the point
yes,
there?
no,
Right.
and that's actually part of where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
When we look at the issues surrounding substance use, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, et cetera, they don't exist in a vacuum.
Okay.
And so to just say, well, we're going to, to Dan's point, we're just going to take the alcohol out of this one area, doesn't then address the host of other issues
Like the meth
that are
and the
that are at
opioids.
play, or poverty.
Poverty.
Or poverty.
And the mental health disparity we have in New Mexico, and especially in Albuquerque. I mean,
Right.
where I think this is failed as an experiment. I agree 100% with Merritt on the whole overreach stuff. But I think that these folks are not getting off work and going to the 7-Eleven and buying a pint and just happen to be drinking too much. They're self-medicating. And if you take the alcohol away from them self-medicating there and don't replace that with an opportunity for them to get the help they need, you're just going to create the problem. It's either going to move or it's going to grow as a problem there. I would like to have seen the mayor say, we're not doing this, and by the way, we're doing this to address the mental health problem that clearly is one of the issues at foot here. And we're not. We're once again ignoring the need for mental health help in Albuquerque by just saying, hey, we're going to get a quick political snapshot, no more minis, no more pints, and these people are going to go somewhere.
I don't,
Would that
I don't
point be
know
made?
that this
Let me-
administration's
good.
not doing anything on mental health. I mean, I think that we can't isolate one thing. I'm just sort of, as I was saying before, you don't isolate one thing within a system. And so this is part of what I see the administration trying to do. But I think it's a thing that makes the neighborhood potentially feel good. It may, as Dan said, push drinkers to other areas. It may push them to drinking more. I mean, there are some, sort of anecdotally, I know of some people who they manage their drinking because it's a small bottle, and they time it out with a small bottle, and a bigger bottle might be more dangerous. So
Michael,
I
what
just
happens
think
if
it's
nothing
very
turns
complex.
around? A year from now, it's exactly the same or appreciably the same. How does the experiment look at that point?
Well, I think it's possible that we will see some things turn around, but I don't think it's going to be because you're not able to purchase those sizes of alcohol.
Right.
I think all the other solutions that were included in this, those frankly sound much more substantive than it feels like the alcohol bit was just tacked on,
Right.
Because it sounds good.
It's the most interesting.
It's the most interesting. It's something that, I mean, the mayor shows up with, little bottles, as Dan points out. So, I think that there could be some positive outcomes from it. I mean, what do they say? Clear 90% of each window of posters, install cameras, signs, no trespassing signs, training for employees to not serve.
That just sounds like the regular course of business, doesn't
Right.
it?
The franchise owners of convenience stores in Albuquerque are rebranding.
Right.
A lot of 7-Elevens are turning into
Right.
DK. It's a very different, mod-looking, not quite so rundown.
The rest of the country is really flipped on the
I just
convenience store
wish
thing.
that-
Got to run on this one. Okay, my fault. We're out of time. After the break, the Super Bowl is this weekend. We check in with Zalata Pueblo about their decision to add a sports betting facility to its casino.